This is the One, and this is Bristol, where we're finding out how the West was one-to-one. Today we're meeting with dealers to find out how they're helping us win the West. We're also seeing customers and finding out who they'd like to have a one-to-one with, and the video diary from the people that actually bring us these. But first, you don't win the West, and you certainly don't win a million without paying attention to the vital details. So here's the first in a series of special reports on the vital few.
This is one-to-one customer services.
Did you know that our customers on average call us more than once a month? Why do they do it?
Your service has been temporarily...
We've looked at the top 10 reasons for customers contacting one-to-one, and many of the reasons they contact us are related to one-to-one's own internal processes. For instance, they have a problem with billing and payment, they're hitting their credit limit, they have a voicemail problem, and not only are they calling us once, but often 2 or 3 times to get their problem resolved.
So the call centres have to take more calls and make each call shorter. Well, perhaps not. Anyway, this place doesn't cause those problems. Customers don't call about credit limits and bill payments because of what happens here.
Firstly, we need to reduce customers calling us for the wrong reasons by eliminating the need to call or improving the processes associated with that call. And secondly, where they do need to call us, then we need to improve the efficiency in the way we handle the call.
OK, we're doing things to provoke customer calls, so logically we can presumably cut calls. Fine, but how essential is that? Is it still one of the vital few?
Today, customers are still calling us at the rate of about 18 to 20 times a year. That's far too many for a customer to be happy with the quality of service we're providing. And equally important, it's going to cost us far too much in the long run to have to answer that many calls from the customers. If we want to make a profit, we have to reduce the overall cost of taking care of customers once we acquire them.
OK, so what are we doing in practice?
In practice, we've got about 10 or more projects which are all part of the call reduction programme. Some are trying to achieve things very quickly, lots of quick wins. Other ones are going to take rather longer. And obviously more are going to come up over time from breaking the barriers and other areas. One of the main projects we're looking at is credit limits. At the moment, customers don't know they have a credit limit, for one, but when they do reach their credit limit, they receive an automatic message, which means they have to ring back again from another telephone to try and sort that out.
One of the big things we're about to put in place is the automation of credit limits. And that will mean that customers won't need to call in to have their credit limits increased, because they'll be increased automatically. And those increases will be based on how customers pay and how they use the phone. And increases will happen from the moment they join one-to-one. So once we get that first payment, their credit limits will start to increase.
We've actually started a trial whereby when they hear that announcement that tells them they've reached their credit limit, they can immediately go through to a customer service agent and sort the situation out there and then.
We're getting far too many calls into the call centre related to SIM cards in 2 areas. The first related to cards being sent out incorrectly due to the diagnostics, and the second area was that the cards being sent out were taking too long to arrive at the customers, taking over a week in some cases before they received the card. This time they were off air, and also the possibility of them having to call back into chase for their delivery.
The way we got around this was for the SIM manufacturer to actually change their process and also to inform us of when cards had been dispatched. This therefore led us to inform customer services via a note on Virtuoso.
It's got to make sense. Most of the time she calls us, she's got a problem, so reducing the need to call improves customer satisfaction. If she has no need to call us, she can get on with the calls she does need to make.
The One.
Next time we'll be looking at another of the vital few. Growth by day, growth by region. Jeff, how have you found one-to-one growth in this region?
The growth is very good. We're very encouraged by the growth. The coverage around this area is particularly good. We're based 12 miles from the city centre, so we're encouraged by the amount of coverage we have at the moment.
And how's one-to-one been for you?
We've only been selling one-to-one now for a week, and already we've connected 15 customers, so very pleased.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. And now to meet the people that bring these to market.
I'm Jane Ware, Product Manager in Equipment Marketing, and this is my video diary. Being a product manager in equipment marketing basically entails bringing a product or a new handset to launch. From the start, it's signing the product specs to make sure that we get the handset that we actually want with all the features that we want.
My name's Paul Denny, I'm the marketing manager for customer equipment. We believe in customer satisfaction more than anything else. It's absolutely paramount. And we go through a very stringent quality process as part of launching a product. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes product is later than its GSM comparable products.
This is Steve Collier, one of the engineers. And this basically is where they do all the testing of the handsets.
Normally we'd receive a fairly early prototype of a phone. We'd try and get the early bugs fixed on the handset. And then we'd put the handset through a conformance test, which would take around about 6 weeks. And then any problems that were found would be reported back to the manufacturers. We would expect to receive a final version of software, which we would then go through and repeat all the tests.
And it can be from 3 months up to 18 months. There's no real time scale in this testing. Obviously, once we're happy with the end product, that's when we will launch it and not before.
Our job is to focus on the main brands, the best products, to make sure that our portfolio is as good as we can possibly make it. One of the difficulties we have is the manufacturers always develop GSM product first. That's something we're trying to overcome, and we're having some success with that.
At the same time, we'll be developing the packaging. This generally involves designing the artwork on the outside, ensuring that all the key messages are on the box, that it's bright enough to go into channel and can be used for point of sale, and that it distinguishes our handsets from all the other handsets in the range. This is Dee Dutter, who's a consumer marketing manager. I've been working with Dee now over the last few weeks, incorporating a new box design for a new proposition which will be launched within the next few months.
What we have done is we have started developing the positioning for this box and identifying who this box should be aimed at. And once we have developed and discussed that, we then took it to a designer. And the designer has been putting graphics on this box to make it look nice and obviously make it acceptable to the consumers out there. At this stage, it's secret and we can't show it to you. But soon, we will be able to show what's in this bag in about 2 months.
This is Tom Sebastiano from Creative Services. I initially briefed him on some new point of sale for the Nokia 8146. Well, these are the initial visuals that we got back from the agency. As you can see, they're pretty much the same theme with the curved design. The handset is actually curved, so we want to incorporate that feature of it. It's a very distinctive phone.
This is the final product, and it's quite simple to make up, and it fits the criteria of the original brief with its curves to emulate the phone.
This is part of customer equipment where we display all the handsets we've ever launched. We try and show the packaging, the point of sale we've designed, the actual handsets themselves as well. Over here we've got a certificate of an award we won for one of the handsets. This is our current range of products we have. So we've got the Nortel and the new Nokia 8146. The job is great fun, but you have to put the time and the effort into it. The key to a successful launch is timing, that everything is ready for the launch date. There's an awful lot of interaction with other departments from around the company, which is great because we get to meet everybody and find out what else is going on. But it's a lot of hard work as well, and that's it. Ian, you were the first one-to-one dealer here in Bristol, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. We sold the first one-to-one phone in April.
And May is an important month for you.
Yes, it is. We're going to open a new one-to-one shop in Clifton, which we totally branded one-to-one. Also, all the advertising starts, which will be a big promotion. We're also putting together a football festival in August, which we're co-financing with one-to-one.
And how do you find the coverage in Bristol?
Excellent. It's as good as any of the other networks.
So who would you like to have a one-to-one with? Ian, who would you like to have a one-to-one with?
Erin Morecambe.
It's in the language, isn't it? But who do our customers actually have a one-to-one with?
The one-to-one telephone has got to be classed as one of your most important tools, apart from pipe bender and gas bottle, the usual items that would come to mind with a plumber. I have a one-to-one with clients every day. I would say between 15-20 calls a day is in no way an exaggeration of calls coming into me. I'm probably making 20 to 30 calls going out as well. I use the one-to-one phone, obviously for being in direct contact with the office, but also for ordering materials in advance and speeding up the whole process of being able to get to the job and complete the job.
I'm described as a female Liberace. I perform at various areas, whether it's here or abroad. My performances are very flamboyant because also the way I dress. As Liberace had the candelabra as a trademark, so my one-to-one is my trademark, and I have it wherever I go throughout my performances.
We tend to do a lot of celebrities, television people, actors, famous film stars, a lot of people in the pop business, Eric Clapton, Bill Wyman, Mr Esseltine, Norman Tebbit, Brick Eklund tends to ring us quite regular. John Cleves actually tends to use us a lot and again contacts us on the mobile one-to-one system. I feel that they're very comfortable, the fact that you know, they can have a one-to-one with us, a one-to-one direct with the plumber. You know, just allows them to feel comfortable, basically.
I dress it up with whatever clothes to match whatever I'm wearing at that time of performance. So as of today, my one-to-one is wearing a silver outfit, and I mean, because it has gone to Ascot recently, has worn where it says "Life's a Beach" hat, and also because recently I did the London Marathon, and because my one-to-one came with me, it well, basically I've given my one-to-one my medal because it did come with me and it did help me finish the 26 miles.
Our customers expect us all to have mobile telephones, and I think one-to-one is ideally suited for that. The one-to-one, I would say, is you know, more than improved the business, possibly made us the #1 plumbing company in the areas that we serve.
I'd say the one-to-one plays a very big part in the actual business. Communication's a must. The beauty of the one-to-one is the fact that by just pressing a number, we're in contact with a plumber within that area, and particularly the type of clientele that we work for would need that. And without the one-to-one, obviously, we wouldn't be able to produce that service.
During one of my performances, because generally I have my one-to-one switched on all the time, it was coming up to an interval and I was finishing one of my pieces and my one-to-one phone rang. Apparently it was somebody in the audience asking me to see me after the show, so basically for a drink. The audience did burst out laughing because it was such an unusual and, I suppose, a shock to everybody, including me, but it was a very much a genuine call. I would have a one-to-one with Liberace because I identify with him and have some similarities.
I'd like to have a one-to-one with Pavarotti.
If I could have a one-to-one with Liberace, I would ask him how he managed to play the piano with all the rings on his fingers.
I'd like to have a one-to-one with Richard Branson.
I would also ask him if he would replace his candelabra with a one-to-one phone.
I'd like to have a one-to-one with Thomas Crapper. That's the fella that invented the first flushing toilet.
As the company celebrates its Western rollout, the One is also celebrating. Recently we were honoured to receive one of the top awards in the video industry, with plenty of praise for the staff presenters. So if you'd like to join our Hall of Fame and you've got plenty to say, then don't hesitate to get in touch with us. As a CSA myself, I know this is sometimes difficult, but the One is working on it. So it's goodbye from the West, and thanks to everybody that's contributed. I'm Cara Bosworth, very wet, very cold, and this is The One.
The One.
The One, the programme that's presented for staff, by staff, giving us all the chance to have a one-to-one with one-to-one. And this is our most glamorous location yet. Yes, this month we're at home in Boringwood. And why not? We are in a very glamorous business. Later on, we'll be hobnobbing with the stars at that glittering show business event of the year, the Great Team Awards. And we'll be getting all the goss from the glossy world of publishing. But first, The One, like the company, goes international in pursuit of the vital few.
Okay then, Mel. It's just before 7 o'clock. We're in Waterloo Station. Why are we here?
Well, we're on our way to Paris, where we're going to meet 2 French network operators to talk about international roaming.
Hence the Eurostar.
Yes, and hence getting up at this god awful hour in the morning as well.
Someone's got to do it. We're meeting Bouygues Telecom in Paris this morning, but what's it about?
Our customers can now roam in France on Bouygues, and of course their customers can actually roam in England on one-to-one. We're going to meet the product manager for Bouygues, and we're going to talk about one-to-one's roaming agreement with them, and we're going to talk about what Bouygues' footprint's going to be. Footprint being, of course, their coverage area.
We're meeting 2 operators today. Apart from Bouygues, who's the other person?
Well, I'd rather if we didn't talk about who the other one is.
No chance of gate crashing that meeting?
No.
So I could use my phone right now?
As long as your account's been enabled for international roaming, yes.
And what would the charges be for something like that?
Well, actually, to enable you, it's free. You can take out the international option at £3.50 a month, and that keeps your incoming calls less expensive, only 32p a minute for roaming.
Bad.
And I was going to take you to a nice Parisian restaurant, but I know you're only on the budget of The One, and there's Adam now from
Bouygues. Billy Byatt from The One. Nice to meet you. I know you two got a lot to talk about, but could I just ask you a little bit about Bouygues Telecom, what the coverage is like?
Yes, certainly. Bouygues Telecom launched its mobile telephony service approximately 1 year ago and covered 15% of the French population in the Paris region. We currently cover 28% of the French population. This will increase to 50% by the end of 1997 and go up to 95% by the end of 1999.
Well, Billy, Adam and I have a lot of business to discuss.
It's okay, Mel, I can take a hint. Right. Adam, thanks for your time.
Pleased to meet you.
Hello, Billy.
Hi there. No offence to Adam, but from what he was saying, Bouygues are in a similar position we were when we started. Is that where the second operator comes in?
We need the second operator that's got a bigger footprint, coverage footprint than Bouygues at this point in time. The other operator will operate at 900 megahertz, and that, of course, is where we introduce our dual-band phone, which will mean you can choose between Bouygues or the new operator. And with the roaming button, you can select Bouygues or the other operator. And I must now go to my meeting.
Hey, I'll follow you to the station.
Okay, let's go.
Typical for the rain to come down as soon as it starts.
I'm going to go get you brolly in a minute.
Do you think there's service up there?
We've got a few minutes before the train goes. Let's check it out. Yes, OK, Paul, we're leaving Paris now. We've got the train to catch. I'll be in the office tomorrow. Yes, thanks. Bye. You know, Billy, it does work up here.
So that proves international roaming. We've got, what, Germany, Belgium,
Spain, France, Singapore, Ireland. We've signed 20 agreements, and Australia is due next. We're really travelling the globe. Speaking of which, we stay much longer up here. People think we're on a jolly. I think we'd better go and catch that train.
Where next? Singapore?
Why not? Sounds good to me.
That or weekend in Dublin.
The One.
Eiffel Tower, water tower. Now we're going to meet Andy Smith, who's a field technician and spends a lot of his time in cabins just like this. Hi, Andy.
Okay.
So, being a field technician, you must spend a lot of time out on the road. Do you ever get much of a chance to see the One?
Sometimes, but it's quite hard sometimes to actually get to see it. Being based outside, it can be quite hard to get to Boringwood to actually view it.
Yeah, so if you had more of an opportunity to see it, would you want to go and see it?
Definitely, yeah, because I think being a field tech, you can feel quite remote from the rest of the company. So actually watching the film, I think will be a good insight into what the other parts of the company is doing.
Excellent, thanks. Okay. A major feature of the One is the video diary. After a bit of tuition, volunteers are just
given a camera for a couple of days and left to get on with it. Joanne Reed of Sales and Marketing emailed The One a couple of months ago with the idea of a video diary on the glossy world of publishing. None of your minor titles like Vogue, Vanity Fair or Hello, but our very own Up to Date.
Hi, my name's Joanne Reed, and this video diary is about how we go about producing the customer magazine Up to Date. So how do we go about pulling together a customer magazine? Well, firstly, we look at our customer base. Who are our target market? What type of customers are they? Would they like to see a Vogue, or are they more the mass consumer market, more of a TV Times market? And I think our customers are more of a TV Times type of market.
So for the past few minutes we've been talking through which features to emphasise more than we have done at the moment, and what to do with the international roaming. So what we've decided, first of all, this will disappear. We'll probably feature UK coverage as the lead article. The second thing we'll do is to feature a new front cover to the magazine. So good old Terry Thomas comes to the front of the magazine.
Once we've determined who the key contributors are and what the content is, then I hand over really to MediaMark and to the contributors. MediaMark extract the relevant information from our contributors and pull together the newsworthy articles.
There's different stages to producing a magazine, and one of the first stages is sending the copy through to design and laying it out with pictures to create a nice sort of spread and a nice look overall.
I receive all the pictures and text from the subbing department, and I put it all together on my Macintosh using Quark Express and scanning in the photos and put it all together to make it look pretty. And then we fax it on back to you, and you make your changes, and it goes back and forth until everybody's agreeing that it's...
Now we have coverage, which has changed quite dramatically since yesterday. It was, we did have a coverage spread and then an international roaming spread, but it was felt that that should be changed to more of an emphasis on Great Britain coverage. So we've moved it from coverage in Great Britain in the north, and a weekend away in Scotland competition, then to coverage in the south of Britain, and abroad for international roaming.
Today is our deadline, so everybody has to agree that it's in a good state, and I end up sending it electronically to the repro house, and then they send us back chromelins.
A chromelin is a proof, and it's a proofing system taken from the films that we make plates from to print with. So what we're looking at here will be as close a rendition of the printed article when it goes onto our printing machine. So we can make any final changes at this point before it goes to the press.
It's about 5 days to print now, and this is our final chance to check that all the amends that we made to the copy last time are in, no spelling mistakes, and that the visuals are up to the standard we'd expect of a one-to-one magazine. We had to change the front and back cover because we had to pull an article out at the last minute, which didn't have the sign-off that it needed, hadn't reached the green stage, which was the partner plan. Hopefully that will feature in our next edition instead. So we've replaced that with an article on driving safely, which is particularly newsworthy at the moment. Genevieve just handed me this, which has come straight off the press. It's finally arrived after all these weeks of hard work. While we were asleep in our beds last night, Jen was up there at 1:30 in the morning, making sure that the colours looked right, and all that has to happen now is that it's trimmed all around the edges and it's saddle stitched, which is 2 staples in the side. You will also get a copy, so I do hope you like it. Thank you.
Hi there, Julia.
Hello. So,
Hi, Julia.
Chris, Phil, you just finished the all-employee survey.
That's right, yeah. Chris has been sending out copies of the survey to all the employees, and we've got a pretty good response. We've got well over 70%.
Are we happy with the one?
The figures we got from the survey firm indicate that something like 3 out of 5 people who replied are happy with the one. They say it's doing a pretty good job, but we are concerned about the other 2 out of the 5 who don't seem to have an opinion or possibly aren't seeing the one at all.
Have we got any idea why they're not getting to see it or don't like it?
Well, who knows? You know, there could well be that the video's just sitting on the shelf somewhere and it's simply not getting to the people who need to see it.
So when are we going to get the results of the survey?
Well, the overall survey, end of July, that's when we get the full detail, the full statistics, and we're able to feed out to people with a good set of data.
Brilliant, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Chris. On the 19th of June, the worlds of show business were set alight by their most star-studded spectacular awards night. The one dug out a little sequin number and went along.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1997 Team Awards.
Welcome to the Hilton, the Watford Hilton, on the most sparkling occasion in the world showbiz calendar. Yes, tonight Watford is Celebrity City, as it hosts the one-to-one Great Team Awards. As you can see, the guests are already pouring in, and shortly we'll be there to meet them. We've also got for you, absolutely true, some celebrity names lined up. We'll be meeting Des O'Connor, the Osmonds, Kylie Minogue, and Tessa Sanderson. Without further ado, let's go meet the guests now.
I'm involved in 3 teams. I was in the team, EQA, whom I don't think you have the chance in the world of winning.
Feel that you might win tonight?
Well, we're hoping, but I think, as I said up front, you know, everyone's winners.
So what are you looking forward to this evening? Is it the food, the drink?
Dancing with you later. Winning the prize, I think, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host for this evening, Tessa Sanderson.
It's now getting underway, but what have they all got in the competition? Earlier today, The One visited Elstree Tower to have a look at the nominations. So Brian, tell me, what's it all about?
Well, as you know, this is the chair stand, and what our main aim is to reduce the number of customers that actually leave us.
Dangerous ground, Bob.
What kind of things are you looking for?
We've got 6 set criteria that we have to judge each stand individually by, with individual questions that we aim to get a response from, and mark the teams for later judging today.
Think you're going to win tonight?
Oh, a lot of stiff competition, but I think we're a little bit confident that we're going to do quite well.
I think the teams are absolutely outstanding. The exhibits are creative, they're exciting, the enthusiasm of the teams just really is very upbeat. It's great.
Wow, this is an impressive stand. So Kate, tell me more about It Takes Two.
Takes Two. It's all about the 2 teams in customer services. It's about Teleredge being delivered and developed at ET and then migrating up to Doxford. And it's about the 2 teams at ET and Doxford working very closely together to achieve 80/30 service levels.
Are you going to sing us a song, Kate?
Not today, Stacey.
So we promised you some celebrity names, and here with me tonight is Des O'Connor. So Des, we've had Des O'Connor tonight. Take your pick. What's going to be next?
No, I think you're confused. I'm Des O'Connor from Data Network Design Authority, not the guy on the telly.
Well, what about your records? Aren't we going to hear a best of Des O'Connor?
No, I'm not the guy on the telly, I'm the guy from One-to-One.
Okay, enough about that then. How's the Great Team Awards for you?
Oh, it's been really enjoyable. I've really enjoyed watching all the projects. I've really enjoyed being involved in the projects too.
Thank you. Thanks to Des O'Connor. And now a live satellite link to Kylie Minogue. Kylie, any plans to return to Ramsey Street one day?
No, I'm Kylie Hayman. I work over at Elstree Gate. I'm there for the Fuse Test team.
What about Jason? Do you think you might get back together with him again?
Jason? No, my boyfriend's name's not Jason.
Okay, enough about that. What did you think about the Great Team Awards today?
Great, really brilliant. I loved it. So great to see so much effort put into the awards.
Thank you, Kylie Minogue. And now the Osmonds. Tell me what you think about the Great Team Awards.
I think they've been great. As a business analyst, it's good for me to find out what people are up to, what projects they're working on.
I find it interesting too, and I enjoy the chocolates.
I finally twigged it. These people went for One-to-One. And now I've got here for you Tessa Sanderson. So Tessa, what department do you work in at One-to-One?
I don't work for One-to-One.
No, but what department do you work in at One-to-One?
I'm Tessa Sanderson. I'm the Olympic gold medalist. I really am.
The winners, It Takes Two.
Congratulations, It Takes Two.
Feedback is vital to the One. Suggestions for items, future presenters and video diaries come from you, and so do comments about the company and about the programme. So one particular piece of feedback from the last programme proved extremely useful. So, Elise, it's been more difficult for the CSAs to get in touch.
Yes, it is. They don't actually have access to email, so they can't actually contact you in that format.
So, do you think the CSAs do want to get more involved in the One?
Yeah, they get the opportunity to see the videos in their team briefings, and other CSAs have been presenters before, so they have lots of ideas for you.
Yeah, so if they have the means of getting in touch, do you think that more of them would?
Oh, most definitely.
Which is what these are doing in the call centres here and in Doxford, and what these feedback forms are doing in all the CSA's pigeonholes. They're simple and they are here to be used, and you don't have to give your name, so just drop them in here and they go straight to the One's office. So if you want to have a one-to-one with one-to-one, try this. That's it. Thanks to everyone who's made this such a glamorous occasion. And I'll leave you with an alternative view of having a one-to-one. In the meantime, I'm Julia Riley, and this is The One.
I'd like to have a one-to-one with Bugs Bunny. He's always been my favourite. Maybe that's got something to do with his big feet and big ears. Well, you know, he's a rabbit, and everybody knows what rabbits get up to at night. And apparently, carrots help you see in the dark. So I'd like to know if that's why he eats so many. And another thing, where does he get all his lovely clothes? That's why I'd like to have a one-to-one with Bugs Bunny on Cartoon Network.
If you'd like to have a one-to-one with The One, phone extension 3773, email us at The One, or use the red letterboxes.
This is The One. Welcome to Oxford Street in London, where all the excitement surrounds that day. No, not Christmas, but rebranding. We're here to discover exactly what impact our rebranding is having on seasonal sales. Also in The One, a day in the life of Rolex and the challenge to keeping customers truly satisfied. But first, brand repositioning. In the build-up to brand repositioning, virtually all of us attended the rebranding workshops. One of the main aims there was to demonstrate that we really are listening to each other. Some of us raised concerns there that the business has to address. So to find out what happened to those concerns, The One went straight to the top. So,
I would actually very much agree with the fact that decision-making isn't crystal clear in the organization. Some of the changes that we're putting in place, I think, are trying to address those issues. Examples of that are that we've added a forum at the top level of the organization that we call operating reviews. We have those every month, and we spend an entire day basically looking at the business from top to bottom. We have also recently completed an assessment, European quality assessment, which really gets at the management processes within the business. And the feedback through that was really quite consistent with other feedback from other employee surveys that we've done around the decision-making issues and cross-functional issues. And so we have a list of recommendations from that assessment work. We're in the process of just beginning implementation of some of those, and there will be more to come in the future.
There is a clear-cut organisation structure. The main directorates of the organisation are sales and marketing,
customer services, network services, finance and human resources, and there's also an executive area which consists of the legal department and also provides strategy, planning and regulatory support. What we will do in order to make things more clear is produce a number of articles in next year's editions of One to Another, firstly giving an overview of the company and then subsequently perhaps inviting each directorate to produce a more detailed article on the key roles and responsibilities within directorates.
I think there are many examples of cross-functional efforts within One-to-One that actually have been in place for some time. We've certainly had the CSF structures, which are examples of cross-functional forums. But we've had, I think, some really good successes recently in projects like JoinX and Churn, which really accentuate the power of bringing together people on a cross-functional basis. We've also just recently started a fairly comprehensive planning process for our 97-98 annual operating plan, and that is a major cross-functional effort, and the feedback so far, albeit it's a new journey, I think, for many, it's created great forums, opportunities earlier in the process to have dialogue from one department to another.
The new brand positioning talks about the organisation being a listening partnership in order to deliver customer satisfaction to our customer base. We are often accused internally of not sufficiently focusing on the customer, and what we're doing is revisiting our internal values to make sure that we do actually practice what we preach and we are committed to providing a service to the external customer.
The One! Here's something new, how it works.
How it works, and this month we're looking at the digital network. We all know digital is state-of-the-art technology, but how does it work? Well, digital of course comes from the Australian Aboriginal word didja, meaning heavenly music, as in did ya hear the latest Kylie Minogue cobber? To do a didja means to make music, and a maker of music is a didgeridoo, which is where the true science comes in. The digital network is a network of didgeridoos sited on top of towers, flats and office blocks all over the UK. The customer's call comes into the nearest base station where it's converted into digits, short for didgeridoo bits, and is then relayed across the country by a series of didgeridoo players. The didgeridoo was chosen because its deep notes act like whale music, capable of passing through air and water for hundreds of miles. So next time you make a trunk call, think of didgeridoos and remember, that's digital, that's how it works.
It's been over 2 months now since the new marketing campaign hit the streets, and it's going down very well. So well, in fact, that the trade magazine Marketing has given it a rave review, saying it should win every award. The journalist even says who he'd like to have a one-to-one with. It's John Lennon, by the way. Now roll out. Let's see what's happening at the sharp end.
Hello, I'm Ian Gibson. I'm the field supervisor for the North region, and this is my video diary.
Derek.
Ring who? Ring who?
Ring Derek and just check that he's okay for the call out.
Yeah. And just check it's okay for the call out. I currently manage a team of some 2 riggers and 10 technicians, some of which are trainees. And we'll meet some of those now as we walk around the site. David, tell us how long you've been up here.
Don't do this to me.
Matthew Street, one of the switch technicians who's working on a field terminal. What are you doing, Matt?
Bringing up a site that has been down. Only for about 10 minutes though, of course.
Let's go and talk to Phil Turner, the Regional Ops Manager for Manchester Region. I say Manchester Region. Phil is the Regional Ops Manager for the whole of the north of England. Anything from the M54 across the UK northwards is Phil's responsibility.
I hear you've been made Area Centre Manager. What's that all about then?
Well, it means I've now got to look after all the switch technicians and switch, as well as the field and all the field sites, Phil.
My job is to operate and maintain the network in the North region.
So you've got yourself some increased responsibility there. What's the basis behind the concept of the...
Well, there's efficiencies in me managing all of the personnel in the region and reporting it back to you, Phil.
The challenge facing us for over the next 18 months is that we're going to grow from a region of 100 cell sites and 1 switch site tenfold to a region with 1,000 cell sites and 4 switch sites.
And how many cell sites is that then, in terms of
network, you know, what have you got to look after?
Quite a few, Phil.
Yeah.
More than one, but not as many as 1,000.
Oh, right. Well, it's about 250 then?
It'd be about 250.
About 250.
About 250.
I think Gary thinks he's going parachuting. All the tools for all the jobs.
Part of my role as area manager for Warrington involves me going out to visit the technicians on a regular basis. So I've come out to Ivy Mill Chimneys to visit and observe the technicians working. In this instance, we're just here to clear off a crow's nest that's up on the platform, just to make the site safe to work on. We've just arrived at Larch Towers to change the locks at the site. It's one of the new sites handed over from Ericsson's. So we're going to go up on the roof now, and one of the technicians will change the lockout. It only takes a few minutes. But Larch Towers is one of the worst sites in the Liverpool area, which we'd normally call Pinkerton's out for. It's cold up here today. We leave Pinkerton's to look after the vehicles to make sure no one smashes into the vehicles. We've had problems here in the past where just passing individuals smash the windows and grab anything out of the vehicle. Larch Towers. Tell us who you are.
My name's Tony Hanna, network engineer, one of the new breed of switch-stroke field techs.
Not only do we look after the maintenance of sites in the region and get ourselves involved with the 80% Rolex project, we also, for our sins, have to refurbish cabins that have been sent up from London from 24% growth.
Yeah, we're actually rebuilding the cabinets that have been stripped so they can go back into the field, even down to the fire extinguishers, which is the last part of this cabinet.
Yeah, okay. James!
Ian!
Can you stop lurking behind the ladder and just introduce yourself to the camera?
No, not really.
Shall we do our advert for recruitment now?
Yeah, I wouldn't work for anyone else but 1 to 1.
Regional Operations North. Geordies, Jocks, Manx, Scousers, we need you.
Now.
Come work for us now. This is the place to work. This is the place to be.
The One.
How it works, and this time we're looking at the technology of call barring. How does it work? Call barring takes place high in the hills above Abergavenny, where a solitary hermit-like sheep herder plies his trade from an isolated wooden shack that serves as home, office, workshop and international telecommunications centre. All one-to-one calls are routed via this centre. Should a call arrive that's due to be barred, the shepherd springs into action. His first duty is to round up his flock, which he does with 2 dogs and an ample supply of come-bys. The first dog bites one of the sheep gently on the tail to make it bleat. Gradually, the entire circle takes up the bleat, which is known technically as a bar ring. The bars occur at just such a frequency as to block all outgoing signals across the electromagnetic spectrum, and thus the call is barred. So next time you bar a call, think of the sheep high above Abergavenny, and remember, that's call barring, that's how it works.
I'm in Dixon's at the moment with Bob Collymore, who's Group Buyer for Communications. Bob, what do you think of the new one-to-one advertising?
I think it's a very powerful campaign. The whole concept of having a one-to-one is something which people relate to very, very easily.
How have sales been for Dixon's since we've rebranded?
It's been tremendous. You've actually more than doubled your market share year on year in store.
How much do you think the new one-to-one proposition has contributed towards those sales?
I think the proposition is actually the key to the rebranding. You've worked with us in defining what the consumer needs, you've worked with us to define what the channel needs, and you've delivered that very well for us.
Thanks, Bob. Excellent feedback. Talking of excellent feedback, thanks very much for all your emails and your phone calls to The One. In August, The One promised champagne to the first 3 names drawn out of the hat. So, bottles are on their way to David Smith, Customer Relationships Marketing, Karen Keeler from Customer Services in Doxford, and Pat Horsley, Customer Services in Boreham Wood. We still need your comments about the programme too. Ideas for video diaries, volunteer presenters. I promise you that is a lot of fun. And there's nothing wrong with bribery either, so there's plenty of champagne on offer as well. We're also after next month's How It Works. The idea is that How It Works is a bit of fun written by staff for staff, so let your imaginations run riot. Meanwhile, here's someone in search of satisfaction.
Hi, here I am in Boreham Wood, faced with one of the most difficult challenges yet, looking for satisfaction. Customer satisfaction. It's going to be tough, but I've got as many as 3 people to interview, and I've got to travel the entire length of Boreham Wood, and I've only got all day to do it, so come on, guys. I think we need to try a long shot. Excuse me, where can I find satisfaction?
You need Jason Ashford. He's on the 3rd floor, turn left.
Thanks very much. Come on, guys.
Excuse me, guys. You need to sign in.
Hi, Jason. Annette, how do you do? Tell me, Jason, how satisfied are our customers?
Well, our customers are getting more and more satisfied all the time. 13% of our customers actually rate us 10 out of 10, which is absolutely brilliant. But the other side of the coin, we do have a number of dissatisfied customers, so we can't get too complacent.
How important is satisfaction to us?
Well, we know high levels of satisfaction lead to customer loyalty, so we do need to understand customer satisfaction if one-to-one is going to achieve its end-of-year targets. On a more practical level, it is part of the employee bonus, so it's in everybody's interest to understand it.
And how can we tell how satisfied they are?
Well, we interview 200 customers each month by telephone, and we ask them a whole series of questions about all key aspects of one-to-one.
Well, you must have collected a great deal of data. What exactly do you do with it all?
Well, it's a great management tool. We can identify areas of low satisfaction, high satisfaction, and the key areas that we do need to improve. My job is to communicate all the information through the business, drive the improvements. At the end of the day, it's just one of the ways that we have at our disposal to fight churn.
Churn? What's churn?
Well, you better talk to someone really about that.
Right, gotta go. Will do. Bye. Right, it's churn next. We've already used 10 minutes, we've got 7 hours 50 left to do, and we've got 2 whole people to interview. We might just make it. Come on. Does anyone actually know where we're going? Jason, it's Annette. Oh, go away. About churn. Who do I need to talk to? But we've just come from your office. Hi, Julia.
Hello, Annette. Hi.
Tell me, why do customers leave? Quick question.
Okay, well, over the past year we've been trying to find out why customers leave, and we've actually found out that 20% of our customers choose to leave us because they're unhappy with our service. But in fact, around 80% of our customers are actually disconnected by us, mostly because they haven't paid their bills. But that doesn't always mean they're bad. They may not be paying their bills because they're not happy with us.
And what do you do about their departures?
Well, in the summer, we started a cross-functional team called the Churn Forum, which is managed by Anne Allen in finance. We started trying to reduce customers choosing to leave by routing all account closure requests through to the retentions team, and they've been doing a great job by actually saving around 30 to 40% of the customers that wanted to leave. We've also made the customers' joining experience nicer from them, so we set their expectations right from day one. Our main focus at the moment, however, is stopping the number of customers who we have to disconnect. We're doing that by having better screening mechanisms in place at the front end to screen out the customers that have no intention of paying us but also can't afford to pay us. If we do that and we keep the good customers, then that's going to be a big plus for churn all round.
And by screening, you mean?
Telereg. I think you should go over to Elstree Tower and see Telereg.
We're really up against it now. We've got 1 whole person left to interview and only 7.5 hours left to do it. Plus, we've got to get from Imperial Place to Elstree Tower. Elstree Tower, please, as quick as you can. Well, we've been here a whole hour, and I'm sure the driver doesn't know what's going on. They're not sending another car, and I know we're not going to get there on time. Well, I gave up on the taxi after 2.5 hours, but whatever happens, we really have to get to... Oh, excuse me. 3 buses have passed and refused to let me on. I just don't understand why they won't let me buy a ticket with an American Express. But there are 2 options. 1, we could walk, which obviously won't work. Or 2, we could travel with the crew. Come on, guys. OK, we're here, but there's less than half an hour to go. Annette Fitzgerald, I've come to visit Telereg. My pass. Have any of you seen my pass? When I think of Telereg, I always think of... Hi, Helen. Annette, hi.
Nice
Tell
to
me,
meet you.
what is Telereg?
TeleReg was launched on the 1st of October this year. It replaces the old paper registration, which the majority of our customers used to have to go through. It provides a speedy, swift response to the customer. They're credit checked in the store, so they walk away with a phone, and we know that that customer is a valued customer to one-to-one, and that the credit risk will obviously be a lot lower as a result.
So how successful is it for you?
TeleReg has been very successful. The feedback from the channel has been excellent. We're handling around 99% of the calls that we're being offered, and the average call duration is taking 4 minutes from start to finish. Obviously the key there is a high level of customer satisfaction, because the customer's experiencing a very painless and simple process.
Customer satisfaction, that's where we came in. 7 hours, 59 minutes. It's been a fabulous challenge, and we've achieved a great deal in a very short space of time. There are plenty more challenges in the future, but for today, from me, goodbye.
The world. I'm with Andrew Harrison, Strategy Manager at the Carphone Warehouse. Andrew, what do you think of One-to-One's new identity in advertising?
I think it's the first in a series of giant steps towards One-to-One becoming a mass consumer brand. And as a mass consumer brand, we've seen the product now walk off the shelves.
How have sales been since our repositioning?
Sales have increased by 400%. We've sold more One-to-One phones in the last 6 weeks than we have in the entire of last year.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for December. Keep in touch, be helpful, be rude, but be heard. I'm Paul Foote, this is The One. Merry Christmas.
The One.
This is The One, presented by staff for staff. And this is Geordieland, Newcastle. We're here investigating One-to-One's most recent launch. Actually, we're all a bit out to launch this month, as you'll soon see when we meet One-to-One's safest driver. Also, when we drop in on a launch into cyberspace. But first, we all know how important growth is. Growth by day, growth by region. Well, at almost the same time as Tyne-Tees became One-to-One's newest region, another major launch opened up a significant new market as part of our growth by day.
You win the new up-to-date One-to-One mobile phone. There's no bills, no strings attached, no line rental. Chance to win a mobile phone upstairs.
Suppose you were to turn the mobile phone market on its head, get rid of the minimum term contract and the monthly repayments. Just imagine how many new customers would suddenly become interested. Well, that's exactly what's on offer now with Up To You.
My name's Andy Trigger, and this is the Up To You Roadshow. And these are the lovely Up To You Roadshow dancers. We have Joe and Louise. Show me how it's done, girls. Yes.
Well, we're here at the Trocadero today for the Up To You Roadshow. It's a national roadshow that starts in the London area. We're then moving to the Midlands and then to Yorkshire and Tyne-Tees. We're going to be in town centres, shopping centres, talking directly to the public.
So what's going on the stand today?
What we have is an actual show. We've got sort of an MC who sings the Up To You song and dances. So we've got an actual show, and at the end of each show we have an Up To You competition where we have 3 contestants and one of those has the opportunity to win a mobile phone.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Dee Dutter's in charge of the marketing programme for Up To You. Dee, before we look at it, I wonder, do you remember this from the video diary 4 months ago?
The designer has been putting graphics on this box to make it look nice and obviously make it acceptable to the consumers out there. At this stage, it's secret and we can't show it to you, but soon we will be able to show what's in this bag.
And here it is, Up To You.
So what's the marketing programme been all about, Dee?
There are 3 bits to the marketing programme. The first thing is the roadshow, then there's the student program, and then there is the commercial.
Right, I think we've got a clip from the commercial now.
I use vouchers for my calls, and you're free because there are no bills or contracts to sign. Oh, if I could have a one-to-one with Tanya, I'd ask her out.
So what type of people are we targeting with Up to You, Dee?
There are 3 groups of people in Up to You. The first group are people who don't like bills and contract. The second group are students. And the third group are people who can't get credit because they can't pass credit tests.
So what's so special about students?
Well, students are low revenue customers of today, but they're the high revenue customers of the future. And that's the future that we're interested in with Up to You.
Thanks very much, Dee. Dance! Bob, what was the concept behind Up to You?
Well, Kara, rather than customers having to sign up for a 12-month contract, paying a monthly line rental, and receiving monthly bills, Up to You kind of eliminates a lot of that. So basically, a customer go into a store, they buy the box, there's no credits check or in-store registration, and you just simply pay as you go. And customers can pay for their airtime either through vouchers or through using a credit card.
So what's different about the phone, Bob?
Well, there's not a lot different about the phone. It's really the service. Basically, a customer, once they can load in their voucher, their airtime through their voucher, just by keying in a few numbers on the keypad, but then they can just hit there's one key on the handset, and then they can listen to a host of information, like their current account balance, their last call detail, where to buy vouchers, things like that.
Can I try that?
You can.
Thank you.
Welcome to Up to You. Your balance is £15.
That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what does it cost the customer, Bob?
The Up to You box, the package, includes the Nortel handset, the battery charger, the SIM, of course, and it also includes a £10 complimentary voucher. That's all for £199.
And how much is the airtime?
Airtime is charged at one simple flat rate, 50p a minute for all local and national calls. Vouchers are available at most of the high street retailers like The Link, Dixon's, but it's also available at Sainsbury's throughout the UK and soon to be in all the major post offices as well.
It's up to you.
Up to You is a new proposition attracting customers that wouldn't normally buy a mobile phone. That's got to be good news for our winning a million. Well, they're off around the country and I'm off to see the sights.
It's up to you.
The one. A one-to-one launch is a big event. The public is swamped by radio and TV commercials, newspaper adverts, billboards, celebrities. And here in Newcastle, you'll find nothing. Well, there's been some warm-up activity, but no posters. No double-page spreads. No television. Sam, you're a sales consultant here at the Carphone Warehouse. There's almost no advertising. How's the market been for one-to-one in Newcastle?
Well, we do expect great things from one-to-one, but at the moment the sales aren't doing very well.
What's going on? John, what's happening?
What's happening is a very deliberate marketing strategy. Here in Tyne